Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the science behind stress and how it impacts your health. Stress isn't just something we feel emotionally. It triggers powerful biological responses in the body. Whether you're feeling stressed about work, family, or other life pressures, understanding how stress works can help you manage its effects better. Let's explore how stress affects your mind and body and how you can take steps to protect your health. Let's start with the basics. What is stress? Stress is the body's natural response to a perceived threat or challenge. When your brain detects stress, it activates a cascade of biological reactions. The most well-known of these is the fight or flight response. This is an evolutionary mechanism that helped our ancestors survive dangerous situations by either fighting or fleeing from the threat. When stress activates this response, it triggers the release of hormones, like adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare your body for action. But what happens when this response is triggered too often or for too long? Here's where the science gets interesting. When you face stress, the hypothalamus, which is part of your brain, signals the adrenal glands to release adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline increases your heart rate, elevates your blood pressure, and boosts your energy levels. Cortisol, on the other hand, is a hormone that helps manage the stress response over a longer period. It increases glucose in the bloodstream, which provides more energy. This system was built for short-term survival, but when stress is prolonged, like chronic work pressure or personal problems, it can cause the body to remain in this heightened state of alert for much longer than needed, which can take a toll on your health. There's a big difference between short-term stress and long-term stress. Let's break it down. 1. Short-term stress. When you experience stress in short bursts, like before a big presentation or when you're in a tight deadline, it's generally not harmful. In fact, these bursts of stress can help you focus, stay alert, and be more productive. The body quickly returns to normal once the stressor passes. 2. Long-term chronic stress. The problem arises when stress becomes chronic. When stress is prolonged, it can have serious effects on your health. Chronic stress keeps your body in a constant state of alert, which can increase the risk of developing various health issues. 3. Let's now take a closer look at how stress affects the brain. The hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning, is highly sensitive to stress hormones like cortisol. When cortisol levels remain elevated for extended periods, it can impair brain function, especially in areas related to learning and memory. Chronic stress has also been linked to mental health conditions like anxiety and depression. 4. One of the key areas impacted by stress is the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and regulating emotions. Chronic stress can reduce the activity of the prefrontal cortex, making it harder to think clearly, make decisions, and regulate emotional responses. Essentially, stress can shrink the part of your brain that helps you deal with stress. Now let's talk about how stress affects your body. While the brain is central to the stress response, the body doesn't escape unscathed. Stress impacts nearly every system in your body. Cardiovascular system. Prolonged stress can increase the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Cortisol and adrenaline contribute to constricting blood vessels, which leads to higher blood pressure. Immune system. Although cortisol is supposed to help regulate inflammation, chronic stress actually weakens the immune system, making you more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Long-term stress can also delay recovery from illness. Musculoskeletal system. Stress causes muscle tension. Over time, this can lead to chronic pain, headaches, and even disorders like temporomandibular joint, TMJ dysfunction. Digestive system. Stress impacts the digestive tract by slowing down or speeding up digestion, which can cause problems like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, ulcers, or heartburn. Prolonged exposure to stress is associated with a range of chronic health conditions. Some of the most common conditions linked to chronic stress include heart disease. Long-term stress increases the risk of developing heart disease due to the constant release of stress hormones that elevate blood pressure and heart rate. Diabetes. Chronic stress can impact your insulin levels and increase your risk for type 2 diabetes. Obesity. Elevated cortisol levels increase appetite and cravings for unhealthy foods, often leading to overeating and weight gain. Mental health disorders. As we've mentioned, chronic stress is a major contributor to anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Understanding the science behind stress is the first step toward managing it. Thankfully, there are several ways you can reduce and manage stress to protect your health. Exercise. Regular physical activity helps release endorphins, which act as natural mood boosters and help reduce stress. Relaxation techniques, practices like deep breathing, meditation, and yoga can activate your body's relaxation response, reducing stress hormones and promoting a sense of calm. Sleep. Proper rest is essential for stress management. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night to help your body recover from the effects of stress. Social support. Reaching out to friends, family, or a professional counselor can provide emotional support and help you deal with stressful situations more effectively. Stress is a powerful force that affects both the mind and body, but understanding its impact gives you the tools to manage it. By implementing stress-reducing practices and focusing on your well-being, you can protect your health and lead a more balanced life. If you have any questions or need advice on stress management, feel free to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you and help with any health concerns you may have. Thank you for watching, and remember, managing stress is a journey, not a destination.